Welcome everyone here to the first episode of The Outrage. Welcome to your host. I'm Spencer Byers here with my good friend Big Al, Alain Cavion.
What's going on?
Al, it's a great day, first day of the podcast,
Yeah,
The
man.
Outrage. I want to start off with a little bit about ourselves, just to give the audience a chance to know who we are
Sure,
and
absolutely.
as individuals, and just get a chance to know what we know.
Yeah.
I'll start with me.
All right, you start. You start it off. You know what? By the way, this was his idea. He actually convinced me, and it's crazy that I said yes. Because if you would have seen us at the beginning, holy jeez, you would have thought we'd never get along. But hey, here we are. We're doing a podcast. We're both very passionate about sports. So,
As everyone
Here we are.
tells me, I'm an acquired taste, and you'll come to find that here as we go along. But anyway, I'm 20 years young from Wyerton, Ontario, Canada.
From where?
Wyerton, Ontario, Canada.
Wyerton. Okay.
Yeah,
Someone's gonna know where that is. I
Yeah,
guess.
I always forget when I say Wyerton. Everyone's like, "Where is that again?" Because no one's from there. That's what I call it. It's kind of like Louisiana when they say Nolens instead of New Orleans, because they
Yeah.
use accents.
Just happens that way. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm from Wyerton, Ontario, Canada. Bigger town is Owen Sound, the OHL team, the Owen Sound Attack. Big up the Attack.
Ironically, I'm wearing the Knights T-shirt today
Yeah,
too.
I know you're a dirty Knights lover.
Just
I
did it
know.
for you.
It's okay. Every OHL fan is now seething seeing that shirt out. So great job, you added yourself. Anyway, so. Being from Wyerton, because I live in such a small community, Owen Sound's 22,000 population. That's the biggest town in my entire area, at least within about an hour. So, I had a lot of opportunities being able to commentate minor and I'll say somewhat major lacrosse, Senior B and Junior B for the Owen Sound North Stars and Bug Juice North Stars for Senior B. I've had a chance to do camera and audio board and stuff like that for the Owen Sound Attack with the great Mark Perry down there at Rogers TV, the local.
Mark Perry.
I love Mark Perry. Mark Perry's one of my favorite people.
From,
Shout out Mark Perry.
He started off in Timmins. I ended up. I'll tell the story afterwards. But yeah, Mark Perry's a really good guy.
Love Mark Perry. Always will love Mark Perry. But yeah, so I've had lots of chances, done minor hockey. I've done Sheridan volleyball. I plan to do some York volleyball as well, as I was grabbed that opportunity this year. And then, with going to the College of Sports Media, as you can see behind us, the College of Sports Media, it's the college him and I go to. That's where him and I met last year as first years. We are now second years, Al. Happy to be second years, finally being able to blame the first years for all the things we break. just like they did to us. But
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that basically covers me. My favorite sport is American football. I call it that because I prefer calling it European football because soccer is such a dumb word. But anyway, so that's basically me, Al. And what about you from the great state of Timmins?
So he's done it all, clearly, as you can see. No, me, I'm gonna try to keep it short here. I played hockey 12 years. I'm a hockey guy at heart. Turned referee now. It's going into my 8th season. I've basically reffed everything under major junior hockey. So hopefully trying to make that jump this year. Actually, this season we'll see how that goes. Did a lot of play-by-play for the Timmins Rock back at home. Did
Hockey?
Hockey. Yeah, junior A hockey. Got to call some OHL games for the London Knights. That was fun.
You at Oshawa too, right?
I did Oshawa as well last year, and hopefully this year more hockey, potentially in Mississauga or around that region. Hope maybe Oshawa too. Who knows? Also, a baseball player during the summertime. Hockey and baseball would probably be my two strongest when it comes to knowledge. Mostly hockey because I've literally done almost anything you can think of in the game of hockey. I've coached. I'm actually coaching this year. U18 MD Markham Waxers, the 3rd team. There's actually 4 teams this year.
Dear Lord,
It's
for U18?
crazy. For U18, it's nuts. I was like, okay, so there's
She has like 80 kids.
there's 4 Markham teams. Yeah, try seeing that. 79 kids at a tryout, and you got to pick them all out.
Yeah, pick them out 1 to 4.
Yeah,
Dear Lord.
Some of them are returning, like most coaches are back,
Yeah.
so that kind of thing. And then they made that 4th team. We're still waiting on Barrie and Newmarket for their tryouts. But yeah, 4 Markham teams, and then there's Barrie and Newmarket. It's gonna be crazy.
Did they have a lot of teams too? Do you know?
I have no idea.
No idea?
I'm still new to the scene down here in
Yeah,
the
I guess
Ontario
from-
Minor Hockey Association. So
Yeah, up there in the Great White North. I always say I'm from the north, being about 2.5 hours from Toronto.
Yeah,
You're
no.
actually from the north.
I'm
You're
from the
like
north.
6
Yeah,
hours.
I'm 8.
8?
8 hours
Oh,
north.
dear Lord.
8 hours north of Toronto. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but no, I love it down here. So I done 2 years in radio. I used to work with Rogers, and then unfortunately I was part of their layoff, which, everything happens for a reason. It's all good. We're going to bounce back at some point. I think it's coming.
I hope so.
I hope so, yeah. That'd be great. Yeah. I went to Fanshawe College in 2017, graduated from the journalism program in 2019.
Somehow.
No, somehow. Okay. Everything. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, then like I said, worked as a news anchor reporter for 2 years. Ended up working out in Huntsville for 3 months after I got laid off in 2020. Crap. See, COVID does that, right? Like you just lose track of time.
Was it 2020? Because it would have been March, right? Because that was
2020. Yeah, because 2021. Yeah, So April 2021. That's when I was let go again. And then I worked at a beer store. I loved it. Best thing I ever. I didn't think I was gonna like it that much, but I did. It was enjoyable.
You're basically an alcoholic, so I mean that all works.
No. Only on weekends.
Oh yeah, perfect.
That's my grandpa's saying, by the way. He says, "Hey, the one day he goes, you're just like me. He's like, you don't drink during the week, but you're an alcoholic on weekends." Just kidding. Don't need an AA meeting. We're good.
Yeah, fair enough.
As you can see, I have water right here. This is water.
Not vodka. That's just the northern way. You know, when you could go up to where I'm from and even farther up where Al's from, that's the way it works. Like
that's how you make friends.
Yeah. That's how you go to social meetings. Yeah.
But anyways, so that's my story. Big hockey guy. I worked in radio, trying to work my way back. As you can see, we're back in college here, and so far so good. And now we're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Add that one to the resume.
Yeah, I want to ironically say, when you got laid off at Rogers, I was graduating grade 12. March of grade 12 was when COVID closed everything down at March break, and it was hilarious because our last day before March break, I was in religion class, Mr. Bushy. And we all
Mr.
look at
Bushy.
we all yes,
Shout out Mr. Bushy. I like that name.
No, it's okay. No, there's two Bushies. There was old Bushy, who was the football coach. We used to be a football coach, was a religion teacher.
Okay.
And then there was his kid, Mr. Bushy, and it was hilarious because they both worked at the same time for Mr. Bushy, so the older
That's
ones
awesome.
last year. It was hilarious.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But
so
we were in young Bushy's religion class, and last day before March break, we're all looking at him like, "Hey, Mr. Bushy, do you think COVID's gonna shut everything down? You know, do you think we're gonna come back after March break?" He's like, "Yeah, I have a lot of confidence that it's not gonna shut us down." And then literally like 3 days later, everything goes shut down.
Yeah, that worked out.
Everything goes to I missed everything, and it was great because I'll quickly just mention, just because I think it's a great fact, Al. When I was in high school, when that happened, they couldn't change your mark. So if you were passing, you didn't need to hand a thing in, and you could pass.
I remember hearing something like that because my sister was in high school still at the time too.
Yeah, because I didn't hand a thing in after COVID. And because I was told a rumor, I was going to start doing some work about 2 weeks after, and I heard a rumor from a buddy of mine saying, "Spencer, don't do any work. We were told by a teacher that they can't drop our marks. They can only raise them." I went, "No way. I'm not going to do any work." So I get a call from Mr. Lowe, another shout out Mr. Lowe, big fan of his. I saw him at the graduation I went to this summer.
Nice.
And he got a call from me. My dad was in the car with me. We were going to Wyerton.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, Mr. Lowe, what's up?" And he said, "So, Spencer, you going to hand any work in? I'm assuming you're pretty smart."
No.
Yeah, he literally said, I know you're pretty smart, so I think you probably heard I can't drop your mark." And I said, "Yeah, Lowe, so yeah, I'm definitely handing anything in."
Oh,
and
okay.
That was my accounting class. That was my worst class that semester, Al. I got the highest mark in accounting.
There you go.
It was hilarious.
Look at that, Spencer Byers, bypassing the system and everything. By the way, you mentioned you're 20 years young. I'm 22, going on 23. December baby over here. So
so he's a lady. I'm June, so I am a fresh 20.
Yeah, late birthday for me. It's all good. After you reach 19, you're fine. You're all caught up. It's 16 and anything before 16, it sucks because everyone's like, "Yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that." You're like, "Yeah, that's cool." So, but with having a late birthday, people could probably relate to this. Everyone gets their driver's license, February, March, whatever, even January. Kids, they got their G1s, right? Yeah. When I got my G1s,
everyone's getting their G2s.
Yep. Yep.
Everyone's already got cars. As Jan Al's like, "I just got my G1, guys." He's standing outside the DMV. Called the DMV for the American fans.
Yeah.
He's standing outside there with your little ticket and like a giant parka.
Yeah. So they got their beginners. I had nothing. Then I got my beginners, and they could drive basically anywhere they wanted to without adult supervision or anything like that.
No
and
far through highways.
Yeah. But anyways. We're here to talk about sports.
Yeah, eventually we're going to get there.
We're getting there.
We're just having some fun right now, just to let you in on, our personalities. But we're going to start up with the biggest story the past week. Serena Williams finally retires from the world of tennis after her loss in the third round of the U.S. Open. Al.
Yes.
A lot of things have gone around, and it was actually asked during one of our classes, is she the GOAT? And you can take that wherever you want because it's a really nuanced question no matter how you take it. Greatest female tennis player, greatest tennis player, greatest female athlete, greatest athlete, period. Doesn't matter, gender, sport, whatever. It gets really murky the farther you go, though.
Yeah, she is the GOAT. No question about it. For see, here's a tough part because, man, this argument was easier a couple days ago. Now I've seen tweets come out and I've seen people like kind of like fly off the handle a little bit here and try to like not steal Serena's thunder, but like kind of just remind us, that there were people before her that did pretty great things and we don't talk about them anymore. Here's the thing. Life goes on, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, we were talking about this actually before we even hit record. We appreciated Gretzky when Gretzky was here. I actually never got to see him play. You never did either because he retired the year I was born, and then, you came on.
I got a couple of years.
Yeah, you had a couple of years. Anyways, but, like, people appreciated Gretzky when he played. Then it was Crosby. Now it's McDavid, right?
And then we got Bedard.
And now, you got Bedard on the way. Come on, no, Shane Wright. Can't forget about him.
Yeah, no offense to Shane Wright, who got dropped 3 spots from the Slavkovsky.
I'm actually interested to see where that goes. But anyways, we're talking about Serena right now. So I saw this tweet today, and this is, it's crazy because, like, Serena Williams, if I'm not mistaken, she went 170 plus or close to 180 consecutive weeks at world number 1, which is huge. But then I'm not going to name drop here because I'm not about that. I'm not going to trash anybody or tarnish anybody's name or whatever. But here's the tweet. You probably read it. As greatness in women's tennis is celebrated, let's remember 22 slams won, number 1 for 377 weeks, became the only man or woman to win every single major at least 4 times, did it all and retired at 30 to move on with her life. This person was talking about Steffi Graf. And then ends the tweet by saying, just went about it quietly, her way. Yeah, that's great. I didn't really know who Steffi Graf was. I'm not a tennis guy. So I looked her up. Dude, she retired in 1999, the year I was born.
Yeah, so Gretzky.
Like, she moved on with her life, is what it said in the tweet. I will respectfully say to that person that wrote that tweet, then why don't you move on? It's Serena Williams' time.
Yeah.
I just nose booped the mic there. That was funny. No, but it's Serena Williams' time. It's let her have her moment. She is arguably the greatest of all time. Sure, numbers aren't even close to that. Fine. But I also strongly believe that if you look at numbers in different sports back in the 80s or whatever, the game changed. The people that were great then, not sure if they survive in the game now.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. See, I was actually going to bring up this point, just to feed off that.
Yeah.
I don't think the great players have gotten that much better. Like, I don't think like McDavid relatively is that much better than Gretzky. I think the fourth liners are so much better than the 80s fourth liners.
Absolutely. If you're a fourth
way better than the 40s fourth liners. Just because I think with the league getting bigger and more kids playing hockey, Americans, European players coming over, getting more countries involved has greatly increased the skill level across the board, which is why I think we think of guys playing now are better because they're playing against overall better competition. It's not the better players. It's the guys who are, now getting paid $2 million, $3 million that their pay rises are up because they're that much better.
But now we're still talking about tennis. I know we're using a lot of hockey references here, but that's just because, again, we're hockey guys at heart here. And you know what? You can almost compare. You can't compare hockey with everything, but there's always a time when you can
You like comparing sports, so it's more relatable.
Yeah. So Serena Williams, greatest of all time, by far. I think the way the game evolved, she has earned the right to have that title given to her because, again, the game evolved. She evolved with it, but at the same time, she stayed ahead of the game, and it was so much harder, So I do think that she does fit in the greatest of all time category for tennis. Now, when it comes to greatest athlete of all time, that's a different conversation to be had, but I would throw her up there. But like I said a few days ago, it's so hard to rank it for different sports because each sport requires a different level of athleticism. Tennis is one thing, but then you look at gymnastics like Simone Biles per se, that's a whole different game. That's a whole different animal, different beast, different training, different nutrition, everything about you're doing like 3 or 4 freaking flips in the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas tennis, you're swinging a racket. Don't get me wrong, your cardio's got to be up. But then again, like the level of athleticism. So Tennis, yes. Other sports, I don't really want to get into it because it gets so confusing. There's too many puzzle pieces and everything you're trying to fit in. So, yeah, that's where that stands. But as for that, though, this is our first outrage moment, I guess. This is where I'm like kind of ticked off. If it's in the past, move on. Steffi Graf moved on. It's been almost 25 years since. It's almost going on 23 or whatever now.
Mm-hmm.
Move on. It's Serena's time. Let her have her swan song, which we all did.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank goodness. Yeah.
She deserved it, though.
Yes. Got the standing ovation when her and Venus lost in the first round.
Tom Brady's going to get the same thing. I mean, he
basically did.
He technically already did.
And Favre got it 4 times in football.
Yeah, he's like the one that's like, he's indecisive, which is fine. But then again, like, if you could still play, you could still play, right? Same thing with Tiger. Like, they're all doing great things, and I expect
he was there too at the second round.
Everyone that announced that they were retiring got their moment.
Yeah, most do for sure.
And no one said a thing.
Yeah, Kareem got it. You can go down the great athletes.
Go down the list. Everyone got it. No one said a thing. So why the heck are there a few tweets coming out saying, "Oh, well, she didn't have her moment.
Knock her down."
I'm sorry, but like social media was barely a thing 20-something years ago.
Yeah.
Like computers were huge squared boxes.
Yeah.
You still had to send mail, okay? And like emails were still a hard thing to do.
The owl was still in the carrier pigeon.
Yeah. So it's like, it's outrageous that people nowadays can't let great athletes or great people in general have their moment.
Yeah. No, I agree. No, completely. And, I have another name that deserves mention in the greatest tennis player, Margaret Court from Australia. Her records are uncomparable, but she played from 1960 to 1977.
Again, the game changed, right?
You just can't compare the competition.
No.
But I feel the same way about boxing now. Like, you can't compare older boxers like Sugar Ray Robinson or Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Hitman Tommy Hearns.
Spencer knows boxing, by the way.
I love all sports. Like, I watched women's rugby at the World Cup in Korea at 3 a.m. because I was just up scrolling through TV and saw rugby. I was like, I'll watch rugby.
He's like an encyclopedia. You can ask him almost any stat, and he'll be like, yeah, I know this one. We won't put it to the test now. I won't put him on. I won't do him like that. It's our first episode. I'll take it easy on him.
No, but even like Rocky Marciano, like great heavyweights, because heavyweights has always, carried the division. You even go farther up, like Foreman, Ali. Into now Tyson, into, Holyfield, then going up into today with Usyk,
Mayweather.
Fury, Mayweather in his division with Pacquiao and
him and Pacquiao were great.
De La Hoya,
yeah.
that era. Even Zeb Judah was a really good fighter in that division, in that area. But anyway.
I'm just nodding. I'm pretending. Yeah. I know.
Pretending you know the names?
There's been names you've thrown around that I know, I recognize. I'm not going to go back down the list because we gotta keep going forward with it. But I'm just nodding. I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to act like I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But no, and that's the thing is you can't really compare because they're just not comparable eras. And I'll say one thing, Al, that worries me horribly as a sports fan, and as I'll say even as a white guy, I'm horrified that people are taking away Serena's shine because of her color. And that, as much as I hate saying that, because I hate the idea.
That is the thing. I have read some tweets that it's
you can just tell, man.
It's 2022, man. Like, as if this is like it shouldn't be. Anyways, I'm not touching on it. I'm gonna leave it at that. I do agree with where you're coming from, and I think we should just pin it right there.
Well, I want to take it a little bit further, just a little bit, just because it hurts my heart. It does. It hurts my heart because I'm a sports fan of sports fans. I love watching sport. I love the psychology of it. I love the strategy of it.
Yeah.
I love everything to do with sport. So it hurts my heart to think that people in that world, in that environment, are taking away from her because of her color. And that horrifies me because I don't want to believe it. I want to play ignorance to it and just say they just don't like her. They just think she wasn't as good as she thinks she was, or she actually was. But it does horrify me. It really worries me, Al, that maybe her color does have something to do with it. Maybe if she was white, that this wouldn't be as big of a story as it is right now in respect to people taking her down a peg. You know what I mean? And that worries me. It really does. As much as I hope it's just them saying, I don't think she was that good. And that's in fairness. I'll say you're wrong. Like, you're wrong. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Serena Williams is probably going to go down as the greatest female tennis player ever, especially as we go a couple years down the road and stories come out about her competitiveness, her way on the practice court, whatever. And I just think it's going to be revisionist history that she was the greatest. as the years go on, and we get to look back at it
But
with reminiscing.
let's be honest too. Like a lot of people that, excuse me, a lot of people that hate on other athletes and that kind of thing. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was growing up, like, well, I'm still growing up. I guess you could say 22 is still pretty young from what I've been told. I didn't like LeBron James. I didn't like him. People ask me why, and I don't like him. I figured out why now that I'm older. He's the greatest.
Yeah. It's hard. Yeah.
Okay. Now I don't want to start that Jordan LeBron.
Yeah, we'll
we're
do
not
that
doing
later.
that.
Yeah, we'll do
you know
that
what
later.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
right now, he is one of the best basketball players on the planet.
And he's one of the greatest to ever live. That's not an
Exactly.
argument.
That's not an argument. The points and the stats are there. Okay, but anyways, I didn't like him because he was good. Right?
Yeah, literally.
So that's the thing. There's still some people like that to this day where they're only hating because it's Serena freaking Williams and she's the queen.
Yeah, and she's that good.
Queen of tennis by far.
It's the same with like Tiger, and that's another like athlete where it's like you definitely could say racism played a part in why he was knocked down so much in his especially youth career.
With his upbringing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But like now you can definitely say like easily one of, if not the greatest golfer to ever live. And you could easily say best prime. Like, if you want to say, in
it just
that
sucks
period.
that it takes that long. Like, let them live in their glory while they're still in or around the game kind of thing, right?
Yeah, especially winding down, you know? Give them that opportunity to be able to shine their tires a little bit and say, I am the best and here's why.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. And now we are going to switch over. As much as I do think that was definitely productive between you and
this
I,
was a very good conversation. Yeah, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. That was our first official segment of this podcast.
Yeah, other than you and I just bantering but about our youth,
Yeah, we talk a lot. That's the thing. This is the one thing we'll have to work on as we go along, and we apologize a little bit. But no, you know what? I'm not sorry. You're tuned in for a reason.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
So listen, anyways, like you mentioned, switching over. This is going to be a fun topic because we're switching over to the NHL.
What a shock, Al.
What a shock, eh? Well, we have to talk hockey. Come on now. Couple of contracts, big deals coming out. Well, big deals, other than, like Ryan Murray and Sam Gagner. By the way, yes, Sam Gagner is still in the NHL, folks.
Hey, don't diss Gagner. He was pretty good last year, wasn't he, for Detroit?
The last time Gagner was good is when he played with Sean Horkoff, okay?
Hey, he actually wasn't that bad last year in Detroit. He wasn't good, but Detroit was also a mediocre team in the end.
Watch out this year, though. Anyways, Tage Thompson, 7-year deal after his first real good season in the NHL. Tage Thompson, by the way, for those of you who don't know, he's a pretty big guy, centerman.
6'7".
6'7", Buffalo,
He's
yeah.
6'7"?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Or no, sorry, 6'8", something like that. Because I was looking up the numbers the other day. There's a guy in the... a guy. He's actually a pretty big player. He might actually make the team this year for the Leafs. Curtis Douglas, who is just, I think he's an inch taller, if I remember correctly. 249 pounds. He's a centerman, just like Thompson, and he's in the minors. I saw him play last year. I was going gaga over him, okay? Like, I couldn't stop talking about him. Anyways, Tage Thompson, 7-year deal for $7.14 AAV.
Do you like the deal, Al? You're not a fan?
It's because of his age, you know what I mean? Like,
was he 20?
24, I believe. 24 years old.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal. 7 years. The only thing you worry about is...
But after one good year, though.
Yeah, the thing is you worry about Jeff Skinner syndrome that they've already dealt with. One massive year, you give him a bunch of money, and now you're pooched. Because now Jeff Skinner's a fourth liner, maybe second liner on that team, but...
He was doing well. He had a good season. If you had him in fantasy last year, you appreciated Jeff Skinner here and there, but he was one of those guys where you'd have him in your lineup, and then you'd put him back on the
bench,
free agency there, and then...
The waiver wire?
Yeah, waiver wire, and you pick him up. But, I don't know. I think he's a really good player. I think his numbers show for it. Do I think... Austin Matthews is almost the same age as Thompson. If not, they're the same age. I'd have to look it up. I don't feel like it right now, even though I have the laptop right here. And
you should have saw him trying to set it up. You look like a boomer. It's hilarious.
Matthews, $11.5 million, and then Thompson, you got 7. We'll say $7 million.
Yeah.
We'll just round it down a bit, whatever. $7 million, and they're basically the same age, but two completely different players. One's got a 60-goal season under his belt. He's been in the NHL for longer than Thompson. That was his first full regular season. And you're paying him almost don't get me wrong, there's like $4 million, like a $4 million difference.
Yeah.
AAV, fine. But after one good season.
But you gotta think about it now. It's Buffalo. Like it is
Yeah,
Buffalo.
but like as much as I disliked Buffalo in the Ryan Miller era because he made the Leafs' life miserable. By the way, Leafs fan over here. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Chirp me later in the comments, whatever the
They
heck you
suck.
want.
We all know. It's
Yeah,
okay.
wherever you post it, just rip me apart later. I get it. Yeah, it's I don't know. Like good for him, but at the same time, like you got to think of your future here, and I don't think they're ready to hand out that kind of money just yet. And if you had that kind of money, like there's some decent free agent names still out there, you know? So, like, I think they could have split that up a bit better, but I think it's a good number for him. I mean, it could look like, a hometown discount by the time he gets to his third or fourth year with them. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that pans out. The one I really like, and I think Dallas got lucky with this, Jake Ottinger.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
This is a good one. 3-year deal, $4 million
AAV.
AAV.
3-year, $12 million contract.
What a steal.
You got to think. Like, it's one of those deals where it's like, is it Nedeljkovic syndrome, where he gets that deal in Detroit and becomes cheeks, but also then you got to think, is Detroit as bad as Dallas?
You want to talk about a goalie that got paid and then turned out to be garbage? Look at Sergei Bobrovsky.
Matt Murray. Sorry.
We're
Leaf
not
fans.
going there. Come on,
Sorry,
man.
Leaf
It's
fans.
too soon, dude. It's
Sorry.
too soon.
Leaf fans.
But yeah.
Anyway.
There's the chair. I was trying to put my arm on it there. I was like, where is it? I know it's there.
Al's just waving at the imaginary
Yeah.
friend beside him.
Yeah.
But
That's Bob.
anyway, no, Ottinger is a great deal, and you got to expect he's gonna be able to keep
Mm.
up that production. He was fantastic last year. Well, he was fantastic near the end because he took a while to get to the starting job because of other guys there in Dallas. I think Hope
Like Anton Hudobin.
Well, he was kind of in
Braden
the AHL
Holtby.
after
Yeah.
Ottinger became really good because Hope had quite a good start.
But they knew Ottinger was going to be something at some
Yeah,
point.
and
That's
then
the
he
thing.
was gross in the playoffs. Like
Honestly-
he almost willed them to a full playoff series.
Honestly,
win. Like,
that
dog.
guy,
Oh my god.
that is the definition of Conn Smythe winner right there. Like, they had no business, in my opinion, being in that Calgary series, and they hung around like with everything they've got because Ottinger stood on his head, and he honestly outplayed Markstrom. Markstrom was, well, that series killed Markstrom if you look at it, because against Colorado, where was he, right?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
But I really like this deal. I also read today on Twitter that someone was saying that they actually wanted to do, Ottinger and his agent were actually looking for an 8-year deal, which would have been great for Ottinger.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
The reason why they didn't go for it was because it just didn't seem to make sense for the team and both players at the time, because they're kind of like, they're not in a rebuild mode, but like they're at the point now where they made the playoffs
They're in the
last year,
middle.
right? They're in the middle. Like Jason Robertson was filthy last year.
And Rupe Hintz is really good.
Rupe Hintz, Miro Heiskanen, like they have the pieces, right?
Young guys, yeah.
They have a lot of young talent that kept them in it, and they could build around that. So that kind of gives them cap space to work with.
But it doesn't, because they still have Sagan and Ben getting paid like $9 million
Those
each,
contracts
$8
are
million each.
absolutely
Like,
awful.
That's the thing, is it's like literally when you sign those deals to those type of players and they just hit a wall for whatever reason, like Sagan should be able to repeat. I don't know. I think Ben might be over it because of his physical style, but like Sagan is hopefully going to be able to bounce back. But if he doesn't, it's going to turn into what Suter and Parise were, or Parise, depending on where you're from, for Minnesota. You signed those big deals. They were free agents.
Yeah.
They weren't re-signed, but they were free agents. You signed those big 8-year deals, 9-year deals, and then it just or I think it was 13. That's before they made like the year cap. I think it was a 13.
I'd have to look it up, but right now Dallas cap-wise, they are sitting with approximately just a little over $6.3 million in cap space.
That's actually not too bad. But who do they got to sign next year?
Well, I mean, you can look at it that way, or if they do have a good season,
Can you sign somebody?
well, who are you trading for? Because the
Yeah.
deadline, right?
Yeah. Well, see, and that's I'm not sure rental will help them though. 'Cause I think they are like in that like. Are you gonna retool? Are you just gonna rip it down?
I will say this. Okay, so Toronto's known for making moves at the deadline and then having those guys walk. Like, there's
Yeah,
not a lot of
Foligno.
guys. Yeah, Foligno, like guys like that.
Placanits.
Mechanics. That was
one of the funniest
that was such an
deadline
odd
deals.
one. Yeah, that was weird for everybody. I think seeing him in a blue and white jersey.
Mostly Montreal Canadiens fans. You guys suck, by the way.
Wow, there you go. He said it, not me. I was thinking it too, though. Not gonna lie. But yeah, so 6.3 mil. I think though, if Dallas were to get a rental, it wouldn't be a rental. I think whoever they would trade for at the deadline,
Somebody they could resign.
it's going to be someone they could re-sign. Exactly. So I really like this Ottinger deal. I think he's their guy. I think he will be a franchise goaltender regardless of what happens.
Yeah, I think that's also the problem with the 8-year deal. It's not into an 8-year deal. Say they like up it.
Here's
a
the
little
thing,
bit.
though. He's 23.
Well, no, but think about it though. You give him an 8-year deal. Say you bump it up to 5. If he's not as good as you think he could be, that's an albatross. But if he's better, like if he's as good as you and I think he'll be, and other like fans, that could be an $8-9 million goalie.
I had this conversation here with a couple of our other friends classmates, if you will. Yeah, and I was called crazy for it because it's a 3-year contract. 3-year contract. Yeah. Sorry, the $4 million threw me off there for a second. I had to take a quick peek. Anyways. I tweeted out, and you can go find this. I wrote, mark my words, Jake Ottinger will win the Vezina before the end of that contract.
You think he'll win a Vezina? Now that's an interesting take.
That is, it's an interesting and a hot take because, yes, the competition is stiff. Andrei Vasilevsky is Andrei Vasilevsky. Igor Shesterkin is, holy crap, like, where did he come from? Like, we knew he was going to be good, but, like...
He's absolutely gross. He's the reason why the New York Rangers are as good as they are.
Yeah,
let's be honest here.
100%. I will give the credit to the Rangers, though. They do have their roster is pretty intriguing and disgusting.
They should be way better than they are because Capu Kakko and Alex
Lafreniere turned it on, though.
He was better at the end of the year. He scored did he get to 20 goals? He was close for sure.
I'd have to look it up. It's the Rangers, right? Like, you know.
Yeah, no offense to Original Six, one of the biggest media markets in the world.
Yeah,
I love when the people tell me they're big market. No, they're not.
MSG, dude.
Well, I love MSG. Madison Square Garden's one of the most
that itself makes them big market.
Arenas ever. Like, I just dislike that idea because for hockey, I don't think it's the same. I don't. Like, as a
they're
Canadian,
a loud barn though in the playoffs.
Well, of course.
I'd love to go watch a game over there.
So is Boston. So is Chicago. So is I even say LA at Crypto.
LA could be good, yeah. At Crypto, man, that's so weird.
Yeah, not calling it Staples is so weird, isn't it?
It's like it's the same thing when like they changed it. It was like here in Toronto, right? ACC Air Canada Center, and now it's Scotiabank Arena. Like, do you know how grossed out I was? Do you know how grossed out I was at first? Because the only reason why it grossed me out is because the Ottawa Senators, Scotiabank Place before Canadian Tire Center, right?
Yeah.
I was like, man, I feel like the Sens now, in a sense.
And now they're getting a new arena downtown in Ottawa. Good for them, by the way.
Good for them, though.
Yeah,
About time.
Hopefully they can get some fans in the building now, because, oh my God, I
think they should. Well, I mean, okay, they definitely will. Look at their roster now. Their forward core is...
We'll talk about that later when it gets closer to NHL season. We get through camp and stuff.
Right now, just thinking about it.
Yeah, they are going to be absolutely gross. They're one of the massive teams that should make a big jump into the playoff spots. But, quickly, but one I also mentioned, JT Miller signed his new big deal.
I thought he was going to get traded.
Was it 7 by 8? 7 years, $8 million AAV, so I think $56 million?
$56 million, yeah. That is wow. That is crazy.
It's definitely a steep deal for a guy who's, 31?
30 years old, yeah.
30 years
But then you look at guys like Huberdeau, right? Look at his contract. Then look at Kadri, 32 years old. 7-year deal as well.
That's just because Calgary was desperate because they needed another forward because they had lost Huberdeau and Tkachuk.
We're not going to get into it too much because we're mainly focusing on the contracts here, but I think Calgary is much better set with...
See, everyone's been telling me that. Everyone out in the class, like everybody. You're not the first one to say that.
And then everyone's like, oh, Johnny Gaudreau, 100-point season. Oh, Matthew Tkachuk. That's another conversation. But anyways, don't get me wrong. Matthew Tkachuk, great hockey player, but man.
Uh-oh. Lot of night bias going to come out there for a second. But,
not even close.
No, but I don't mind the Miller deal because he'll be 37 when it's over, and you're hoping you can buy him out at the end.
But, at the same time now, is that what the NHL's doing? Is that what they're going to do now? They're going to pay players that... it's not really the money that's the issue here. It's the term, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with Kadri, 7 years. Huberdeau, I think he got 8, did he not? 8 for 10?
Yeah, I think he got
8 by 10, close to something like that. Yeah. So it's come on. Is that the new
norm?
And that's the thing. Elliot Friedman, I'll call him out all day because he knows what he's talking about. I have no problem quoting him. But he actually went on Tim and Friends last night saying that he thinks that the market has changed. That the Kadri deal is what set this now, that the market is changing around players that are 30 or older.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, if they still got it, pay them. Fine. Yeah. And JT Miller had a heck of a season. No one really saw that coming. He was kind of like the underrated guy flying under the radar before that.
In Vancouver. And Vancouver's been an absolute dog show for God knows how long.
Yeah, they haven't been the greatest, but I mean, now I think they've got a good core going. I think they could. I would have really liked to see them in the playoffs last year. Hopefully I see them this year because, the more Canadian teams, the better, in my opinion. I think it's just better for the game.
Canada more chance to win because of the last cup being in 93. Gross, bunch of Canadians.
Yeah, and you guys all know what the conspiracy theory is around that. Fun fact
high stick.
for those of you who, well, no, not that. I'm just saying, like, as in, like, Gary Bettman.
The Bettman.
The Bettman conspiracy. You know, he came in after 93.
The year
right?
after 93, I think.
Yeah,
94 was his
and
first
then
year.
after, he's been there since, and no Canadian team has won since
yeah,
then.
I know. That's such a funny fantasy conspiracy theory, too. I love
It's
that.
a good one, though. I
It's
like it because it
hilarious.
makes sense.
But no, it doesn't.
Look
He
where
gave
the
back the Jets.
Okay, the only reason why, man. Okay, we got to get into it.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna get into it.
Uh-oh.
Vegas and Quebec City were ready to expand when Vegas came into the league.
Yeah.
Both teams, T-Mobile Arena was there, and the Centre Vidéotron Center was there.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Kid Timmins, Quebecer over here, basically.
Yeah, I'm also French, you know, but I mean it's
you
self-explanatory.
can do it
in my
Alain,
name.
by
Yeah,
the way.
Alain Kevion. Anyways, all right. And then all of a sudden, last-minute move. No, we're just going to Vegas.
Well, yeah.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you for that.
Okay, but see, I don't.
I
have a
feel
problem with
bad
that.
for Nordique fans, by the way.
I do because they're not a bad because I think Quebec City could handle.
Oh, they
a franchise.
totally could. Because
But-
if Montreal, well, I mean, once Carey Price is gone, who do they got? Caden Primo to the rescue. Da, 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 da. Like, you know, Jake Allen's gone, is he not?
I think so.
Yeah, so it's like,
See,
good for you.
I feel bad for Nordiques fans, but I don't disagree with not expanding there, going there because you don't really need another Canadian team.
Here's
And-
my thought. Arizona should have been there a long time ago since Vegas came into the league.
See, but I envy Arizona because they've had a bad ownership and a bad GM. Like you can't.
And a bad hockey team.
Well, but that's what I mean. Like how. What fan base gets behind a team that's garbage except for Leaf fans? You're the only franchise in all of sports, let alone hockey, that can cheer a bad hockey team.
They're not a bad hockey team. They
Well,
just don't get the job done when they have to.
Not this year, but you've had teams that shouldn't have been even iced.
I mean, look at
arena
2013.
was
Look at 2013, that lockout year when they made the playoffs.
the 1 year they did out of that decade.
They
Literally.
shouldn't have, though, if you look at the roster.
Well, no, that's what I mean. But that's what I mean. Like, if you look at the roster, some of the teams the Leafs have had, and they've had a sold out building all year, and you can see those are executive seats, and I agree. Like those are just business seats.
It's all suits.
Yeah.
It's, that's the one thing. I've been to enough Leafs games to tell you right now. The upper bowl, if you're going, screw the lower bowl, go to the upper bowl.
That's
Those are
the
where
fans.
those are the real diehard fans. But
Yeah.
I will say this, so sometimes, and I mean it happens everywhere. I'm pretty sure Yankees fans, for baseball, you can relate to this. You end up fighting your own fans at some point
Oh,
because
yeah.
and that's just ridiculous. But anyways, it's
they fight their own players.
what were we talking?
Yankees-
JT Miller. That's where we were. We went from JT Miller to expansion to, hey, we fight our own fans.
Well, no, but no, you're gonna come to get that. Al and I are, as he said, we're talkers. We're gonna take this a lot of places, a lot of
Jeez
times, just
Louise.
because we like to have fun on here. This is gonna be as casual as we can get. But no, Al, I think JT Miller is a great signing. He is, as
Yeah.
much as I don't like how the end of the contract might work. But if Vancouver thinks they're close, which they might be, Elias Pettersson's really good, Besser, Horvat.
Yeah, I think they're in win now mode kind of thing.
Quintus-Omai,
They
even
have
Thatch.
they have their goaltender.
Yeah, Demko's gross.
Demko is
Fantastic. He might get
Wow.
a Vezina votes this year.
That's
Like,
what I
if
mean.
they're really
It's
good.
so tight. If you
Like-
want to talk Vezina, it's so tight. Demko, Shesterkin, Vasilevsky.
Shaworkin, they're in the island.
Oh,
Ilya Sorokin.
Ilya Sorokin. Yeah, I was like, who? yeah. Sorokin. Even UC Saros.
Yeah, I love Saros.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
so
I was gonna say,
gross.
like, how'd you leave that
love-
guy out?
What
Like,
do you mean leave that guy out? I just said Sorokin. Sorokin.
if it's Sorokin.
I
If
pronounced the
Cam
Russian way,
Talbot
dog.
has a good year in Ottawa, if they do well, he could be in the conversation. Who knows?
And so could Mark Andre Fleury, Flower,
No,
down in Minnesota.
that's the one guy I'm counting out.
really, you don't think
I
Minnesota's gonna be
think
good?
his time has passed.
You think he's done in Minnesota?
No, I just think I think he should have retired after Vegas booted him.
I don't think so. Oh, whoa, come on now, come on.
He thought about it,
Well, yeah, of course he did, because he's been disrespected by every franchise who's ever had him.
but
He
at
was
the
in-
same
he
time,
was in
like he was
Pittsburgh.
awful in Chicago.
Well, no,
Don't get me
because they're
wrong,
a bad hockey team.
don't get me wrong,
Oh,
yes.
they're garbage.
Yeah, they're a bad team.
Like, what
fine,
do you mean?
but like. You just look at his game. He just doesn't seem like himself. Even in Minnesota, it was like, man, like you can tell you're trying a lot harder to make the saves that you used to be able to do effortlessly, which is fine. Obviously, the guys, everyone ages, right?
He's like 37, 36, 37, isn't
37, 38, yeah, getting up there, yeah. Which is crazy. Like, Henrik Lundqvist is retired, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he's 40, but, like, what
Yeah.
a weird thing to
Pekka
say.
Rinne. Pekka Rinne's
Pekka
gone.
Rinne, another one. He had his jersey, he got his jersey
jersey
retired
hung
last
up,
season,
yeah.
yeah. So like that's just crazy, man. Like,
Oh yeah, it's
unbelievable.
it's definitely hard to think when you think of guys who like just recently retired, and you're kind of like in your head, like, do you remember Danny Alfredson? How long he retired ago? And you
He's
can
going to
still-
the Hall now.
Yeah, and you can imagine him playing for Ottawa.
Same
and
thing.
Then, like that last
Henrik
year in
and
Detroit.
Daniel.
Oh yeah, that
Roberto Luongo. By the way, I think this class, just real quick, is one of the best classes
of the Hall of Fame
in a long time.
Now,
in a long like inducted
well,
in
yeah,
a while.
of course, yeah, and then you can still make the argument the guys weren't let in, like McGillney and stuff. We're not going to get into that.
There's so many
Like-
guys that aren't in there that they'll have their day though.
That they should get their day. But I
Yeah.
will quickly mention here in Toronto, if you have a chance to go to the Hall of Fame game,
Do it.
I went with my parents. We were in the lower bowl at Scotiabank.
That's the only time you'll ever get to the lower bowl is if you go to a Hall of Fame game or something like that.
I spent like
unless you have
I
like a grand.
I swear to God, Al, I spent like $300 for 3 tickets in the lower bowl,
Jeez.
and it was one of easily the greatest days of my life.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
watching like Peter Bondra with no helmet on, and like watching all the old guys with no helmets on and stuff. And my dad had fun because Roenick was there, and Roenick scored a goal, and no one went near him to celebrate. So my dad was just laughing beside me, like, "Yeah, see, no, they don't still like him. They still like him because of what he used to do with the
I'd have to go to a game like that only because I've never had the chance to see Matt Sundin play.
Well, no, and you can know, and like Shiger was in net for one of the teams. I don't want to say Martin was in the net, but
I
another
got
one of the old goalies.
PTSD when I hear John Sebastian Giguère. Jeez,
He was
Louise.
gross in Anaheim, though.
Oh yeah, he was a great goalie. It's just when he showed up in Toronto, those were like after Vesa Toskala and Andrew Raycroft, those were some dark ages. James Reimer, still in my opinion, he's the one that made goaltending relevant again in Toronto.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
and then because he was a good personality. I think it's because
He's such a good guy.
Not-
I've
not
never
so
met
good
him, but
as-
like he seems like such a good guy.
Like a genuine guy.
Genuinely
you know?
good guy, yeah. And then man, we're gonna go down that goalie. We're not going there. We're not going there. We're gonna leave that.
Al stopped himself right
Yeah,
there. Al thought about the
it's
name
better.
he was going to mention and go, nope,
It's good.
I'm not.
Nope, we're not going there.
Now, I would quickly want to mention, now we're talking about arenas, Arizona now going to the Arizona State University arena. It's like, what, 5K? 5K?
It's a joke.
No,
It's a joke.
No, we're not gonna get into joke franchises like the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're gonna get into the Wave.
This guy's a Bruins fan, by the way, so
Oh,
go
yeah.
ahead and trash on him all you want to,
It's okay. We'll make the playoffs. But no, actually, quickly, we're
and
gonna
then
go
do
to
nothing.
Yeah, I know, eh?
Just like us.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just like the Leafs. Sorry, not like us. It's on my team. They're not mine. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah. Before we get any more wheeze, we're quickly gonna go to the Wave.
The Wave. By the way, the Wave, like not like a heat wave, like the Wave, like woo. I hate it. I hate the Wave, man. That's yeah. Do you know how many times? Been to like 6 or 7, maybe even 8 Blue Jays games this year. The Wave. It's as stupid as it looks on TV as it is in person, my friend. It is the most atrocious, the most annoying. I'm out of words for it. I hate the Wave. This question came up on Twitter a few days ago. Are you a fan or not a fan of the Wave? I'm not. I think it's bad luck. It doesn't matter when you do it. If your team's up to bat, let's say at a baseball game, you're doing the Wave, I'm sorry. You think someone's gonna hit a dinger when there's like 40,000 plus people, woo, all at once?
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'd take a break and look at that.
Vladdy's gonna take it yard with his 250-pound frame after he sees the fans in left field doing the
I mean,
Wave.
if anyone could do it, it'd probably be Vladdy. If anything,
Yeah, he'd probably pick a field and just go, okay, oh, goodbye.
yeah, that
Not
like,
a Jays fan, by the way.
Yeah,
Make sure I say that.
Yeah, he's a
Gross.
Yankees fan too. Can you imagine that? Like Bruins and then Yankees. Like,
And Celtics too, by the way. Oh my. We're not gonna get into basketball.
he's a
today,
weird guy.
sadly.
He's a strange man. This guy.
I just like the teams I like.
Yeah, I'm mostly like a Toronto-based guy, but that's just because I love the city in general.
That's because you're from Timmins and there was no
I
one
just
else
like
to cheer
I just
for.
like the city. I just like. Well, I had the Habs as a choice, but
Gross. You
yeah,
want to cheer
like
for the
who-
Habs.
No, it's
Gross.
I don't want to talk about that.
Bleh.
But anyways, yeah, the Wave is like no, like I remember one game I went to. The Jays were playing the White Sox, and this was the funniest thing ever. Everyone's starting to do the Wave. It's going around, and I'm like, oh, it's coming. I'm like, I literally looked at everyone next to me. I was like in a middle spot. I was on the flight deck, and I'm looking across. I'm like, guys, I'm just letting you know right now.
I'm not saying enough.
I am not getting into it. I am not doing the Wave. That's it. So it got to the flight deck, and funny enough, I was actually sitting on the corner. And I looked at the guy and I waved him off. That entire section right next to me was just like starts booing me or whatever. And then the one guy booed me. I pointed out he's at a Jays game with the Lakers LeBron James jersey. Oh, But he's booing me, buddy.
Sabaku.
Wrong sport, my guy. Like, holy crap. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? You're booing me? Like, you're not wrong. Like, why? Like, what?
It's the only jersey he owned, Al. Leave him
And
alone.
it's funny. It went around.
Again?
It started again. I didn't do a thing.
Oh, my God,
And it's funny because
Al.
people on the flight deck, I was like, it's bad luck. It's bad luck. And, like, I don't remember what the count was or anything, but they walked a guy mid-attempt of a wave. And I'm like, here we go. This is what I was saying. I had people hop on the train with me, so the whole thing just stopped every time it would hit the corner of the flight deck. And the boos were going away, too. So it was like, yeah, finally, people are understanding the logic. I hate the wave.
That's hilarious.
It
You
is.
think it's bad juju? That's
It's
amazing.
very bad juju. Doesn't matter what end of the field you're on. Doesn't matter what sport. It is bad. Something bad
Oh
is
my
going to
God.
happen. It's either a home run, a walk, a goal. What I bet you the wave was going on when Vesa Toskala let that one in from half ice in frickin' Brooklyn or no, where were they? Nassau Coliseum.
Well,
When they were-
I guess Brooklyn, isn't it?
yeah, well,
I
yeah,
guess
because that's
Brooklyn.
that's the
'Cause the
battle
islands.
of
Yeah,
the battle of yeah.
Because that's in it's
New York.
Yeah, it's in New York, New York.
Forget about it.
Yeah, they're the Islanders.
Yeah, but anyways, I dislike the wave. Not a fan of it at all. And
That's hilarious.
especially at baseball games. Don't get me wrong. I know baseball is boring, but if you're bored, just go get another beer. Like go
get a hot
Go get a
dog.
hot dog. Like just do anything but go
Go
to
get a
the
souvenir.
washroom, even if you don't have to. Like go say hey to Ace or whatever mascot. Don't do the wave.
Don't do the wave.
If I'm at the game and the wave is going to happen, I don't care if I'm the only one parked in my seat. I am not doing.
Well, Al, gotta be honest with you here.
Oh, no.
Gotta be honest.
Jeez, here we go.
I don't completely disagree with you because I've never really been a part of a wave. Because again, Owen Sound is really my only real experience in like a sports venue. I've been to, as I said, Scotiabank. I've been there once for that Hall of Fame game. I went to my first ever hockey game in Tampa when it was Tampa versus Montreal. 'Cause that was the only game that was going on. You know, so like I don't really have a lot of experiences at other arenas. And I've never really been a part of a wave because of, I don't include baseball. I've been to quite a few baseball games.
Fine, but like once you experience it, it's what one time is fine, but like 3 times in a baseball game, come on, man. The worst part
Come
is,
on, man.
I saw the Angels play the Jays a couple weeks ago. Might have been it's been over a week now when the Jays were, had a great series in New York and Boston, going, I believe, 8-1 on the road. And then come back to lose and get swept by the Angels. They were losing 12-0. And everyone's doing the wave. I'm like, man. And this was before 12-zip. It was already bad. Like, it was already like 6-0. They were playing bad baseball. And they're trying to do the wave. I'm like, do anything but that.
See, I love your attitude, Al. I love saying it's not that I dislike the wave. I dislike the connotation with it. You physically dislike the idea of the wave because you think it gives your team bad luck.
It
I
is.
love that. I love that.
The worst part is they were doing it when it's bad, and I'm like, oh, here you go. And they scored 2 runs, actually. Now that it's coming back to me now, Spence. It's coming back to me. They scored 2 runs after, not the first one, the second wave.
Al, I love you. You know what I want to hear? I want to hear you say that to Ray Williams. He's one of the teachers here.
Oh,
one of the
jeez.
funniest people I've ever met in my entire life. I love Ray. If you ever see this somehow, I'll
He
be
will.
trying to tweet it at you.
He'll see it.
Tweet it at
we'll
Ray
tag
Williams.
him. You know his tag?
I'll find it. He
All right.
only follows 2 people on Earth: Sheridan College and Obama. And he said none of us are going to be as good as Obama, so we can't get followed, which is kind of upsetting. But anyway,
It's not wrong.
He's definitely not
It's not wrong. He's a wise man.
very wide. No, I love Ray. I
Yeah.
love Ray.
Yeah.
I think he's an amazing teacher. But no, I want to hear you say that because he dislikes the word. I'm not going to get really far into this, but he dislikes the idea of momentum. He thinks momentum is not a
jeez.
real thing.
He ruined that
And-
word for me. Eh?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, he used the definition of it, and he dislikes the word momentum because he doesn't believe in it. You play to win the game is his idea, and I agree with him to an extent. But when you're in the arena, you feel the energy. I think there's just a different connotation there, in my opinion.
So I guess we call it energy.
Yeah, the energy in the building, you can kind of tell. Like even when like a goal goes in, you can feel.
Yeah,
like,
you feel the game shifts. You
Like
could-
you can,
yeah,
you feel like the ice tilt.
it's something's different. Yeah.
we call it ice tilt for a reason, guys. Like there's a reason why people say those things. It's because it physically feels like in the building you can't get the puck into your zone, and that's a mental thing. I know it's a mental thing, not a physical thing, but it's still a thing. No offense, Ray. Love you. Anyway, now we're gonna go back to baseball because the Jays
Yeah,
we're getting
we're,
close.
We're done with the Wave. Now we're gonna go to the Jays.
Yeah, we're talking lots about baseball. You go into lots of Jays games. Not
Yes.
during the summer, obviously. You being in Timmins back home.
I got to
was also
watch, I
back
think,
home.
6 before going back, and then I've seen
One already back.
2. I've seen 2 now since I've been back. Yeah.
Jesus, you only been back for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, the Angels.
God,
well, my best
animal.
friend was down, and
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so we well, he actually, believe it or not, 24 years old, never had seen the Jays play live.
Well, I mean, if you're from the north though, 8 hours away, why would you make the drive? Like that is a ridiculous drive.
The flights are cheap, bro.
Well,
The flights are actually cheap. If you don't, never mind. I'm not name dropping that either. There's a lot of cans of worms we could open right now, but I'm not going to. I'm trying to like.
I love watching you like stop yourself because you go right as a tomato. I'm gonna try to zoom in on that. Right as a tomato. I'm the editor too, by the way. I run a whole lot of I wear a lot of hats in the room. But anyway, the Jays. I'm not gonna say are down bad. But like they're getting pushed
not
pretty
up.
close. They're getting pushed pretty good there by the Orioles right now. 1.5 games up currently in the AL wildcard race.
If I'm not mistaken, I read yesterday the Orioles. Jeez, I hate the O's so much. By the way, the O's are like the Boston Bruins for me. Okay, like anyways. I'm pretty sure the Mariners are 5 back now, or 5 or 4 back.
I think they're 4 back. I think they're 4.
But they're
second.
they're already in a spot. But
4 up.
Yeah, like. I think they're catching up to the Yankees.
Oh, probably.
We're gonna pull that up. We got to fact check that one because this is big conversation here.
High level journalism, as you can tell.
Sure, yeah. There you go. Let's see, wild card here. All right, 2. Yeah. Okay, no, it doesn't say. It just says on here they're 2 up. Orioles are still a game and a half back. As we're checking this, by the way, it is Saturday, September 3rd, recording this episode.
At about 2:30.
2:30 in the afternoon, yeah.
So anything released after, like another big contract we didn't mention for hockey or something, because we didn't see it. Like, let's be honest. We mentioned Gagne getting signed yesterday.
But anyways, yeah, the Orioles are making it tough.
Pushing them. Even though I saw
They have to win almost every game.
No, I saw a predictor, and it literally said, 6% chance. They're a game and a half back, 6% chance making the playoffs. Jays was like 93.
Which is crazy because they're playing so bad. Well, sorry, I had to belch one out there.
Nice. Yeah. Attaboy, Al.
Yeah. No, but like they're playing, like they do really well. They actually remind me of the Leafs. Yes, I know we say we do a lot of hockey references, but hockey is my thing. He's
from the North, guys.
I can make any hockey reference for almost anything. Anyways, but they almost remind me of the Leafs. The Leafs last year, they lost to teams they shouldn't even come close to losing to, and then they would beat the teams where it's like, man, you have no chance. Like, look at that Colorado slapping they gave them. Was it 8-2? Something like that. Like, they had no business in that game. There you go. They play Buffalo, though. Like,
I need the added side effect.
Yeah,
I'll
that was a good one. Yeah, but like, so the Jays, same thing. Like,
that was real, by the way.
Yeah, sure, it was real. Yeah. The mic moved, it's just real quick.
Yeah, the whole table shifted there
just
for
like
a second.
That, yeah. But no, like they did well against the Yankees. They handed it to Boston a few weeks ago. Then they get LA coming into town. LA doesn't really have any business, Mike Trout and Shohei, yes. But after that, who you got, right?
Yeah, Rendon's been hurt a lot since he signed.
Yeah, so So it's like
another one.
Yeah, anyways, I don't want to talk about it. It's lack of hydration at this point. But yeah, so it's just frustrating because there's teams like that. Even Kansas City this year gave them a hard time, and it's like, man, they're not even. Kansas City is a bottom feeder right now. They're not good.
Well, they traded away their best 2 players, Benintendi to the Yankees, and then
Whit Merrifield is in Toronto now,
and he barely plays. He hit his 9-hole for them, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, and he pitches too.
Oh yeah.
See how he made his pitching debut?
Oh my god.
I believe that was against the Angels. Yeah, when they were losing 12-0. Yeah.
Our Pujols 2.0.
Yeah, or actually no, it was like 10. Anyways, he came in to pitch and it was god awful, obviously, because it's not a pitcher. But yeah, he was throwing 51 for those wondering. Anyways.
Ephus.
Yeah, that'd be funny to see. But yeah, and you look at you wonder why the Jays are playing bad. Their pitching hasn't been great. They lost Hyun-Jin Ryu to Tommy John surgery. He also
had a bad year, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Bad start? He also had a bad last year. Like, he's not been paying attention.
And then you have a guy like Jose Barrios, who you signed to a 7-year deal. That looks absolutely
atrocious.
atrocious right now. It's like great 7 years of this. Like, which don't get me wrong, Barrios has had his great games, but like if you've had him in fantasy this year, you're going no, he hasn't, and I tell you, you're right. The only two good pitchers have been Alek Manoah and Kevin Gausman, who also had his phase though at one point where he was struggling, but I think he's
struggling relative to his skill.
Yeah,
right?
He's found his game. I think I was never concerned. I was like, yeah, okay, everyone has their bad games. Even Manoah, like
bad weeks.
This guy usually throws 7+.
Yeah.
Almost complete games. Look at his other outing the other night in Pittsburgh when they shut them out 4-0. That was a good win, by the way.
Pittsburgh sucks. Pittsburgh is trash.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage. No offense to poor Reynolds.
It's not that great. But anyways, yeah. So you look at the deadline moves. Mitch White.
He's been pretty good, I think. He had a good stats for LA.
He was good for his first two, I think. And then I saw him pitch against the Angels. That was a long game. Very long game. And then Anthony Bass. Right?
Whoever that is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is Anthony Bass.
Reliever,
yeah. He's been... I don't know why they got rid of him the first time around. Like I thought he was great. And then Pop. That's his that's his last name. It's gonna come to me.
Give him a minute.
It's gonna come to me. Pop. No.
What are you?
Do you not know?
There?
Do you not know it?
No, of course not. I'm Jays fan. I don't care about the Jays. They suck.
Wow,
They're
dude, you
horrible.
do know you're in Toronto, right?
I
Like
don't
you
care.
can't say stuff like that
they're
around
garbage. They're hot
Hold
garbage.
on there. I'll find it. Holy jeez, I have a lot of it. Oh my.
There you go. Not even.
Those of you watching, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, you moron! I can't believe it took you that long to figure it out." Zach
Pop.
Zach Pop. Wow.
Oh, such a hard name to remember, Al. Zach.
But yeah, you look at their deadline acquisitions, and how do you expect to win a playoff series, let alone a wild card? By the way, if the Jays play the O's in the wild card game, if the O's somehow catch them, which I think they can, I think it's doable. The Jays are gonna Jays at some point again this season.
They're gonna Jays.
They're
gonna leave.
They're not going to win. I'm sorry, but if I'm the Blue Jays, I do not want the Baltimore Orioles in the picture. Tampa Bay is not any better.
Well, I mean, they're
no. I mean, like they're not a better opponent to
okay.
have.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll clarify that. And Seattle, they haven't made the playoffs in.
Well, they were okay last year. I remember. Might have been the year before that, to be honest.
But they go hot. That barn is going to be wild.
Well, you're ironically talking about two of the hottest teams in baseball right now. Both 8-2 in their last 10. Seattle's won their last 5. Tampa's won
That's
their
what
last
I mean.
4.
Like every team is scary, and I don't think the Jays. I think if other fan bases, when they look at the Jays, they're not as worried as a guy like me, where it's like, they're not going. Oh, it's the Blue Jays. No, great. Like we got to play the Blue Jays. No, they're going. Yeah, bring them on.
Well, because you're not scared of their pitching. I think that's it. Because you know how good their lineup.
Well,
could
you
be,
know they're
could
going.
be.
You know they're going with Manoah.
Well, yeah, no, duh.
And if not, then Gausman, right?
Yeah.
And I'm okay with either choice, by the way. I would just go with Manoah because I think he throws harder.
But think about it, Al. If you can even get through Manoah and I'll say Gausman, who's 3? Like who pitches game 3 of any series?
Ross Stripling.
Yeah, literally Ross Stripling was gonna give you what 5 innings?
No, man. Ross Stripling has been throwing. He threw. I think there's only one game this entire season where he threw under 6. Other than that, he's made it to 6+. Chicken Strip has been on, and that's why when Yusei Kikuchi was being Yusei Kikuchi,
Yeah, still playing his game.
yeah, which is by the way atrocious. I was calling, I can't be the only one. Ross Stripling, man, the numbers are there.
Well, yeah, because he's a long reliever.
Good pitcher.
Well, he is. No, because he's that real like starting pitcher reliever. Like
he's aggressive.
Do
That's the thing. He's aggressive too when he pitches. He's not one of those guys where he'll throw in and out or whatever. No, he'll come right at you. Yeah. And I love his high fastball. It's unbelievable. I love when honestly that's my favorite strikeout pitch. When you throw a high fastball confidently like he does, man, it's amazing. So yeah, Ross Stripling would be your third, and I'm saying that with full confidence. I'm not saying that with any concern whatsoever. Like Ross Stripling.
Did you say Barrios is 4 then?
Yeah, I think so.
You know how sad that is? Wasn't he game 1? Wasn't he opening day starter in the end?
I think so. Yeah.
opening day starters are 4th in your playoff series. That's gross. Like, that's sad.
But that's also depth, right? I mean, who knows? Barrios like hasn't looked bad in his recent outings. Bad for the majority of the season, but now it looks like
He's finally plateaued
finally
a little bit.
he's finally
found some
making he's finally playing for the amount of money and the years. Oh, jeez, I can't talk now. The amount of years that the Blue Jays signed him to.
Well, yeah, no, quick little look at the playoff picture. Houston right now, the top team in the AL with 85 wins. You got the Yankees top in the AL East there with 79 wins. You also got Cleveland in the Central. 68 wins, baby. They're the worst team right now in the playoff spot, and they're going to win their division.
Yeah, no, it's
at least in the AL, for sure.
Yeah,
in the AL.
No, and that's the thing, and I mean,
and the White Sox, I think, are like 2 games behind them.
The White Sox have turned it on.
And Minnesota's right there too.
Yeah, like everyone's there. Like that's what I mean. Like this American League in general has been the most competitive and the tightest in my recent memories from what I can remember.
But that's because the AL East is so good.
Like don't forget Tampa, right?
Yeah, I just Tampa's top wild card team.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I was talking about the Central team.
Right. Okay.
Because they're not. The sad part is the Chicago White Sox and Minnesota. Minnesota's 4 games back. Chicago's 6 games back from the wild card. They're 2 games back. Minnesota's I think 1 game back at Cleveland. The White Sox are 2. Like, you know how sad that is? You're closer to your division leader than you are the wild card. Like, that's what the wild card is. Because you got 2 AL East teams.
It's unreal.
And the Rays and the Jays and maybe the Orioles because you got Seattle in the second spot behind Tampa. Both tied at +2 games on Toronto.
It's
gross.
It's crazy.
Like it's like literally, if the O's go on another big winning streak, they're right now 7-3 in their last 10. If they go on a big winning streak and one of those top 2, the Rays and Seattle, like I said, are both been really hot recently, they go on losing streaks, they could fall out, and it could be 4 ALS teams making the playoffs. AL East.
AL East, yeah.
Like,
no,
it's gross. Like it's the best division in baseball, and the Red Sox they're far away. I think they're 7.5.
Yeah, they're a little bit further out.
No, 7.5.
At one point, I was gonna say at one point they were 6 back. The last time I had checked.
Well, no, they also had won a big losing streak because they had a big winning streak, put them real in the playoff picture, and then they had
which
a
is crazy that they're even.
Then,
it's crazy that they're even in it if you think about it, because at the beginning of the season, wow.
They started off.
The Red Sox were not a fun team to watch if you're a Red Sox fan.
They were bad to start it off with. Had a great kind of like the Jays. Had a bad start, great kind of summer area.
They had a good summer, and then
they kind of petered off now too. And they had a massive losing streak coming out of it.
Yeah.
They lost, I want to say they lost like 11 of 13, 15, maybe. They had a massive
it's just not great. Yeah. But
and then no offense to the NL, it's kind of set. Like the Dodgers in the West, 90 wins, best team in baseball. You got the Mets, 85 wins. They've been arguably one of the hottest teams in baseball recently.
I love Edwin Diaz,
I love Narco. I love
Narco. Timmy Trumpets. If you haven't seen it yet, that video's gotten 10 million views, so I doubt you haven't seen it yet. But Edwin Diaz's walk-up song for when he's warming up to pitch and coming out of the pen.
I'll probably throw a little audio clip in here for you because I love the song personally.
Oh, man.
It's an amazing song. I listened to it. I found
it's so badass.
Oh, it's an amazing song. No, I love it because I love all types of music, and dubstep's one my buddy likes, so I do try to find
it's
some music.
EDM-ish.
Yeah. Like I love Narco. It's so good. It is a fantastic song. I was surprised when I heard him coming out to it. I'm like, that song, I love that song. I immediately knew it. I heard that like the first beat. I'm like, that's Narco. Narco's a great song.
Yeah. No, so I really like like you're saying, the Dodgers, I think they're set.
Yeah,
Mets
no
really
one's
good.
gonna touch them.
Mets really good ball
Cardinals,
club.
77
Cards.
wins. They got Goldschmidt. You said was your MVP vote for the NL.
Goldschmidt, I think, is my MVP vote. Yeah.
Well, Machado got hurt. Feel bad for him because he was also there, and he had a slump after the injury.
Yeah, it's hard to pick someone else other than Goldschmidt. I like Goldschmidt for it. And for American League MVP. Judge.
Gotta be Judge.
And it's funny because when I picked him up in fantasy, I was getting ripped a lot because they're like, oh, that's a favorite pick or whatever.
Well, because he gets hurt a lot.
51 bombs.
And counting. Well, you know what?
I think, what was Giancarlo's record? Because he holds the record, does he not? For most in the, no?
Okay, now what are we talking? Are you talking most
like
by non-roided papers?
Dingers in a season.
Currently held by Barry Bonds.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
Giancarlo was like an era thing, where he has like
he probably has the most in the last 2 decades. But the problem is,
I hate bringing up stats and not having.
Well, no, because you have the steroid era, where I'm pretty sure it's Bonds with like 73, 77, something ridiculous like that. And before him it was McGuire, and then behind him was Sosa when they had the home run race, as everyone would know in the early 90s. And then before that, my personal opinion, again, Yankees fan here, gotta be honest, is Roger Maris, 61, the most by a non-roided paper.
Barry Bonds has 73.
Yeah, I thought it was 73.
In a season.
Number 73.
Yeah.
He's the record holder, and no one's ever gonna touch that because no one's used. Well, unless you use a lot of pads and don't get caught.
Well, if what the heck am I saying?
Judge, is that Judah?
If Judge keeps going, I mean, there's like
A month left.
There's 33 games left. Oh, sorry, 32 now because the Jays played yesterday. So I'm basing it off of their number of games. I actually checked it yesterday. So there's about 30 games left. He's got 51. He needs 19.
That's a ridiculous amount.
Or like 19. Like he needs like 20 plus. Something like that.
But that's way too many, though. Come on, it's almost like a home run a game. He has to get really hot. Like,
You'd have to.
Like, right off the All-Star break.
I don't think he does it, but I do think he's... I mean, I think right now, technically, he's flirting with it.
No, because, see, when I was asked when he hit, like, 40, he was on that big home run streak where he hit, like, I swear to God, he hit, like, 10 in, like, 20 or 20, 15, 25 games or whatever.
Yeah, Judge is on pace for 66 right now.
Yeah, see,
according to this,
I was asked...
MLB.com.
I was asked by I'll say a co-volunteer with when I was doing one of the broadcasts for Rogers. I was asked, Spencer, what do you think he ends with? And I kind of looked at him and I said, I don't think he beats Maris's record. I don't think he beats I'll say non-petted because he's never been caught using PEDs or, anything like that. I don't think he beats Maris's record. I think it's 59. I still think 59 is a good number.
So it's funny that you mentioned 59 because I was curious about Stanton's number. And 2017, 59, the most in a 16-year timeline.
Yeah.
So in 16 years, that was the most home runs hit. So 59, Judge has got 51. And it's crazy because these two play on the same team now.
Yes, they do. They both play the corner outfield. But no, I think he gets 59. I don't think he beats Maris's record. I think he gets really close.
He hits 60.
You think he gets to 60? I don't think he beats 61. I don't think he beats Maris's record for most by a player not caught
in
using
30
PEDs.
games.
Like I think 8's a good
He's
number.
He's motivated. If you think about it, right? He
wants to win. I don't think he cares about the record. I think he wants to win.
But at the same,
I think he's a bit garbage.
I don't think he does. I do agree with you. I don't think he cares about the record. I do think he's thinking about it though, because I mean. You got to know. It's like Matthews before he hit 60. Like, he was thinking about it once he reached 50.
Yeah.
50 and 50, right? Mm-hmm. So, but it's going to be interesting. Okay, American League or National League, who's winning the World Series this year? And
but before I mention that, though, I wanted to mention the NL wildcard team.
Yeah.
Currently, the Braves, 82 wins.
I like the Braves.
I think they're 3 games back of the Mets right now for the NL East.
I like the Braves. Austin Riley.
They are 8.5 games up on the last wild card spot.
Jeez.
The San Diego Padres are second, 74 wins.
Padres are going to choke.
And the Phillies have 73. They're right now currently holding the last spot. The only team close is the Milwaukee Brewers, who traded their best player, their best reliever for sure, Josh Hader, even though he's blown up in San Diego. They are at 69 wins. They're 3.5 games back of the Phillies. They probably don't catch them, in fairness, as much as I do love
I think the Padres
Braves.
will choke. Again.
You don't think the Padres are... Well, without Tatis, too, with the injury and now the
they've been fine without him anyways, right?
Well, yeah, but he's still their best player, in my opinion.
Yeah, so what? Tatis got 80 games, right? Tatis got 80 games? 85, yeah, there you go.
85 to be exact. He'll miss like the first 30-something games?
Yeah.
32 maybe, ironically.
He's 23, right? 22? Yeah, I think he's close to
big
my
contract.
age, yeah.
First year of the big, 13-year contract, and he gets hurt.
Then his wrist. His wrist, yeah.
About to come back. Peds... 85 games, now he's done.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate for the team. Obviously, he did it to himself. The injury, I do, empathize.
Yeah.
But the Peds, you gotta know. You have to know.
It's hard. It's hard to get away with that nowadays. You can't say you don't know. There's people that you can hire and look into it and all that.
Like a team. You're the first thing you do when you get held something, you even if you have confidence in it, call the team doctors, call their lab staff and say, can you check this out? I want to make sure I'm not breaking no rules. Be that's the first thing you should do, every professional athlete, because you can't tell me the team doesn't have those type of resources to figure out if something's in that.
Right.
Especially if you're worried about it. If in the back of your mind you're thinking, is this illegal? Could this, even if you, and I'd say even if you don't, you should get everything you tested.
There you go. See, but it's catching up to you too now.
Unlike, I'll go with a UFC fighter example here.
Yeah.
Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, one of the greatest ever from
I thought you were going to say John Bone Jones.
No. Mighty Mouse's quote when he was asked about it, he said, I put 2 things in my body, food and water. That's it. I don't use any supplements. I don't use anything like that because if I put food and water in my belly,
you're good.
I'm never going to test positive for anything.
Exactly.
Also, I obviously go to a foreign country and then
that's different,
Russia. But that's what I mean. You got to know what's in your stuff. You have to know. That's onus on you as the athlete. Have to.
Yeah.
And then on the team if they give it to you. But if you got it from a doctor, then it's all onus on you. And obviously your doctor.
Absolutely.
Your physician.
So brings me back. We're gonna. I think we're gonna tie it all up.
World Series. What?
World Series right here.
Way too early.
Whatever. Just go ahead. Right. Keep in mind it's September. Things can change.
Yeah,
we're trying to roll these out once a week.
We'll probably do one for going against October 1st, and we're really close to the playoff. We'll probably make our last prediction.
Changing.
We're also gonna do some playoff. We're gonna do some picks for NHL when we get closer to training camp.
We'll get into
week 1 next week, so we'll talk to them about the NFL next week.
Yeah.
College football really starts today. We'll talk about that next week too. We might probably get a chance. Football will be a really eccentric video next week, but as you said, tie it up.
World Series.
You said me first. Looking at the standings, looking at who's hot right now, with 30 games to go, who I think takes a winning streak, who do I think gets hot. Thinking about it, hard not to pick the Dodgers. Really hard not to pick the Dodgers.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really hard. I don't want to pick Houston because,
See, that's my pick. That's my pick.
You're picking the trash throws?
Yeah.
Oh my God! No, please.
No. I'm not saying.
Where are the buzzers? Where are the buzzers? Don't take my shirt off. Don't take my shirt off.
I'm not saying they're gonna win it all. I'm just saying I got Dodgers and Astros again.
What? You really want to hear Dodgers fans cry and moan for 7 games?
They're gonna get it done.
You think they beat them?
I think the Dodgers. No. Screw Houston. There you go. I'm tired of having to say it. I hate the Astros. The Trastros. I like that what you said. Again, we're trying to wrap it up here, man. I'm gonna go. Yeah, Dodgers and Astros. Astros seem like a really tough team to beat right now. They're a gritty team, cheating or not. They do know how to compete. They do somewhat know what it takes to win it all. Dodgers do too. So, the Dodgers they're, shout out to Chris Johnson. They're a juggernaut. I think
they think Dodgers do it.
I think it's a rematch, and I think the Dodgers exercise their demons. Yes.
Finally
they get a fair shake at it, and they absolutely make them look like crap. Because let's be honest here, karma's a you know what.
You know what, Al? I'm going to have some fun. It's September.
Yeah.
It's September 3rd, to be exact.
Watch, he's got the Yankees going now.
No,
he's going to go gaga over Garrett Cole now.
No, unless the Yankees make a massive streak in September, I don't think they make it. I think they probably maybe make the ALDS at least. Well, I think they're guaranteed it with the new playoff format. But anyway, I think they probably make the CS. I think the Seattle Mariners go on a run.
Okay.
And I think they play from the NL. I think they play.
Don't say it. I don't know.
I'm stuck between the Cardinals and the Mets.
I knew it.
I'm stuck between the Cardinals and the Mets.
I knew it. I was like, he's going to say the Cards. He's going to, yeah. You know what?
I take the Cards. I think Goldschmidt wins. I think Goldschmidt takes the NL MVP of the playoffs. At Cards versus Seattle for the World Series.
Really?
And I think Seattle gets it. Or not Seattle, pardon me. I think St. Louis gets it.
Wow. Okay.
I think Seattle wins it.
2 words. Jacob deGrom.
See, I have Jacob deGrom on my fantasy team.
Sorry. Another 2 words.
Edwin.
Max Scherzer.
I got 2 words for you. Mike Michaelis. Paul Goldschmidt. But no, I think those 2 teams get hot at the right time. I think they have really old, veteran teams, and I think their top players, like Mitch Haniger, like Paul Goldschmidt, absolutely carry their teams. And I just my opinion, I think those 2 teams match it up.
I like it though. I like it though. I do like it.
I don't like taking favorites. You'll find that out. If I ever talk about placing a bet, I never bet favorites. I only bet dogs. I don't like picking favorites. I want to pick the Dodgers.
I do like it. I like it. It's a good. I think it's good. It's hot, but it's good.
You took the top 2 wins from both the AL and the NL.
Because here's the thing: if there's one thing I know about baseball, how often do you see an upset, or how often do the numbers lie to you? You know what I mean? Baseball's not hockey here, where it's literally
every time.
It's not literally anything can happen, right?
It is. It is. If you get hot at the right time, yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah. No, and that's what I mean. That's why I like your picks. But I really like the Dodgers, especially with Freddie Freeman.
They're gross.
Right?
No, let's be honest, the Dodgers are gross.
I think the Dodgers are fine.
Mookie Betts.
The thing with the Mets, though,
no, but Dodgers, they lose Bueller to Tommy John for a second time.
It's the second time. I know. I read that yesterday.
The Dodgers are good. They could hit another
By the way,
injury.
Tampa Bay Rays,
dark horse. I almost picked them too.
I have-
literally looked at them and
have-
Seattle. Was like, you know what? I'm taking Seattle.
I have Tyler Glasnow in fantasy.
Glasnow's fantastic.
He's making a rehab start in AAA.
He's fantastic.
He's going to start, and from what I'm reading, it sounds like he will play a couple of games in the regular season. How good he will be, I don't know.
Probably really good. He's really good.
I think he'll be really good. From what I've been reading his progress now. I've had him in fantasy for the last month or so, or whatever. Hack. Anyways, but yeah.
Stash.
So think about it. If he comes in and the Rays are in the playoffs, I think they're going to him. Or like Drew Rasmussen's been good. Jordan Springs, fine as well.
Yeah.
He gave the Yankees, made their life a living hell the other night. So, yeah, I like your picks.
So
I know I'm basic, and you guys are probably going, he's not creative, whatever. It's fine. Again, it could change.
Just to finally wrap it up, Al, as you said.
Now we're finally wrapping it up. We've been wrapping it up for the last 15 minutes, bro.
I'm gonna say so. Your World Series picks are the finalists, and your winner are
Dodgers and Astros.
Trash. And you think the Dodgers
today?
Take it.
I think the Dodgers take it. I think the Dodgers are going. Yeah, they're running it back.
And I think it's gonna be Seattle versus the Cards, and I think the Cards take it. I think they win another World Series, and they get Yadier Molina one more before he retires. And Adam Wainwright, because Adam Wainwright's also been gross
So that's
this year.
this week.
Fantasy team on my team.
That's this week, September 3rd,
At
Saturday,
3
o'clock. 3:02 if you really want to be specific. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna get our social medias up and going. Haven't really done that yet because, well,
you're lazy. It's okay.
Not lazy. We're just chill out, man. This has been The Outrage. Big Al, AQ, Alain Cavion, whatever you want.
Big
Spencer
sexy.
Byers. No, not big. Come on, we gotta keep it PG. There's kids gonna maybe listen to this. I don't know.
Big sexy's
Who
not
knows?
inappropriate.
I know, it's fine. Whatever. Spencer Byers, Spence. Call him whatever you want. I don't know. If you can come up with a nickname for him, that'd be great. We're trying to.
As I told David, as long as you get my attention, I don't really care what you call me. But
There
anyway.
you go.
But
Yeah.
no, that's gonna be it here for us. You can watch us on YouTube live. You can see us. See our pretty faces, or as we say.
I have a face for radio,
yeah,
man.
Four in Toronto, 6 in Timmins, as you tell me.
No, okay, you got that wrong. It's a.
You're welcome, Al.
Thanks,
I got
buddy.
to laugh. Anyway, so that's going to do it. So you can watch us here on YouTube, or you can see us on, I believe, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you want to find us. Much appreciated. We'll be back here every single Saturday. Obviously, we'll communicate to you if that's not possible. One of us has a date or something, not an actual date. He doesn't pull. It's okay. Like a sports date or something like that.
Man, you had all podcaster rip on me, and you're starting to do it now. Really?
Of course,
Like, man.
Well, I didn't do it.
We have lives, so we might not always be able to do it every Saturday. We're gonna aim for that. Obviously, we got school going on, everything, so we're gonna try our best to make it work. But this was episode 1 of The Outrage, and hopefully we'll see you guys next week.
Hopefully, we'll see you next Saturday here, same place, same time, on The Outrage.